if you go back to the very beginning, it was a downtime here. Anchor's corporate offices were leaving, along with a lot of people who'd been important in the community and the community's tax base and all of that. And it was kind of a low mood kind of thing because Anchor had been this town's kind of industrial identity, and it was being lost. And of course, it wasn't the best time to start a new project like this. At least people kept telling us that.
Something like this had never occurred in Lancaster before. And summertime then was kind of a sleepy time, and there weren't a whole lot of events going on. Everybody looked forward in the fall to the Fairfield County Fair, but July and August there really wasn't much, and I think people were kind of hungry for an event that would be big and splashy and they could be part of. And so I don't know, we started asking people. People said yes, and they've not stopped saying yes since.
It gave the town a new identity, a cultural one, and that's a good thing. Um, the arts are restorative and refreshing, and it gave everyone something to talk about and to tell people from outside the community what the community was about.
I wanted to be part of it, and it became obvious that I was going to be part of it, and I enlisted Barbara Hunziker, and then the two of us just kind of became the two who kept it going and made sure, ramrodded the project through.
While I knew it would work, it was a little hard concept to sell to the public because they didn't know what to expect. I think they might have expected high school kids out there on the stage or something.
I was so lucky to have the relationship from the start with Barbara and Eleanor. In a sense, the three of us shared the mantle of artistic director for the many years that we worked together until they both resigned. Happily, they've stayed on to do still a lot of work as honorary directors. But we made all the artistic decisions together, and above all, we had fun. And here are two people whom everyone in the community is grateful to for persevering during the transition period between the time when the Columbus Symphony left and when we started our own orchestra in a new direction for the festival. And B, two ladies who have continued on all these years to give so much back.
It was a gelling of people at the right time. They all had like purposes of bringing quality cultural entertainment to Lancaster. And at the time, the music director of the Columbus Symphony was Christian Badia. From what I understand, he hoped to establish Spoleto of the North, because he was very involved in Spoleto in Charleston, South Carolina. And he wanted to develop that here, and this was his opportunity. So he was preaching excellence and quality from the beginning, and then the volunteers in Lancaster that helped join that effort had already been bringing music into town. They had started with some chamber music, and I think they had one big year before the festival started where they brought the orchestra from Columbus down to play, and they wanted to bring those events to Lancaster and make this a hub of cultural entertainment as well. And so working together, they just had a dream of presenting something, and they established it from the very beginning to be for everybody.
What I thought might be a great next step for the Lancaster Festival was to form our own orchestra. And so that whole idea was central to my hire, to my philosophy of how and where the festival might head in the coming years.
Well, here's a person we know, here's a person we trust. His musicianship we knew was, impeccable. And another wonderful thing that happened at that time was that Michael Davis had resigned his position with the Columbus Symphony Orchestra, and Gary said, I think if we ask Michael Davis, he will become our concertmaster. And so when you put all those things together, that was a real good basis for beginning. But Gary was certainly the one instrumental in doing this, yes.
So I come up with the idea of our own orchestra. And I was able to express how artistically sound I thought this idea was, as well as economically sound. Artistically, in the sense that with our own orchestra and our own music director, we could tune in more to the tastes of the people locally and not just be handed a program A and a program B to choose from other orchestras.
We worked very hard to convince the public that this was going to be even better than having the symphony orchestra that we had had before. And I think until the first note was played on the stage, there were a lot of people that didn't believe that.
And everyone who was at that first rehearsal remembers the excitement. It was palpable when the orchestra played its first notes of an overture by Glinka. The orchestra sounded great and we were well on our way.
The first time we heard them play in rehearsal, it was kind of a life-changing moment. You know, you knew you made the right decision, and thank heavens it worked. So that has to be way up there with what we're most proud of.
It is just the bedrock of this festival to me. I think it's what has given the community the pride and the sense of ownership. You know, bringing in somebody else's orchestra was wonderful, but when you have your own, and then the musicians all stay here and mingle with the community and give lessons to the children, and you know, give impromptu concerts at someone's home. I mean, it made the festival what it is today. Yes, I think we would have a whole different flavor without it.